Thank Good morning and welcome to UU Wellesley Hills. Now please rise in body and or spirit as you are able and sing as we sing our opening hymn, number 1 in the gray hymnal, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door, number 1. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome again to UU Wellesley Hills. I am the Reverend Mark Roble, your senior minister here, and it's so wonderful to see all your smiling faces amidst all the rainbows we have decked out in here today. So we are an open and affirming congregation, which means it does not matter to us whom you love. It doesn't matter how you dress or what you look like. It doesn't matter if you're gay or you're straight or you're bi or you're trans. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Hindu or a Muslim or an earth-centered believer. What matters to us is that each Sunday we sit here in these pews and we sit here and we love and support each other. That's what's important to us. Here our only creed is love and our religious practice is love. So whoever you are, wherever you are on your own personal spiritual journey, welcome to UU Wellesley Hills, where welcome and embrace with love. Perfect. It was a slow start, but you got it. You got it. We are joyfully called to worship this morning. Now, as we do every Sunday, first let's take a look at our camera over here and let's wave to the folks in our online pews. And now we can turn to each other and offer each other good health and peace this morning.
How do you, all of a sudden I can't figure out how.
Well, we have a raucous crowd today, that's for sure. So I have a couple of announcements this morning. Our annual meeting will be held right after the service. So stay in your pews. Don't get up. It's going to start as soon as we finish the service. After the annual meeting, we're going to be doing a wine tasting auction. We did that. Peter, when did we do that? In the fall? Last fall? Or is it? Okay. Peter's going to be the auctioneer, and we'll be auctioning off tickets for a wonderful wine tasting program sometime in September. And the proceeds from the auction will go towards our deferred maintenance fund. You know, we're spending a lot of money redecorating and rehabbing the sanctuary in the foyer this summer. We also have a significant list of deferred maintenance, and so we're starting to sort of save some money to get some of these things done. Next Sunday, we have a jam-packed day. It's Flower Communion Day, it's New Member Sunday, New Member Sunday. We're having a cookout outside, and we're also doing a Caring Kids and Family program outside. So we will be inviting the community in with their kids and adults, a multi-generational program, and we will ask them to join us for a cookout out in the courtyard, and then we will proceed with a program for the folks who are involved with that. We'll be making little trinkets and stuff for out Metro West, little gay-themed buttons and flags and stuff like that. And we're still looking for a few more volunteers to help with the summer gatherings. If you're interested, please see me, Naomi, or Karen Quigley. Really a lot of fun, short 30-minute services with a reading and a discussion. And lots of support, like I said, from Naomi and Karen. They have a template and everything you may need. Okay.
So, as we deepen into worship, I'd like to invite Reed to come up and light our chalice. The flaming chalice is not only a shining symbol of our Unitarian Universalist commitment to religious pluralism and humanitarian values, but it is also a much-needed light shining out from these walls into our community and the world. We light it on the altar each Sunday and any time we gather in community. And if you're watching from home, you might, if you have a chalice on hand, you might like to light that as well. And you may join your light with ours. And the words of our chalice lighting are spoken in unison, and you'll find them printed in your order of service or appearing on the screen. Please join me in saying them, and thank you, Reed, for lighting the chalice. We light this chalice to illuminate our faithful way forward as an inspirational community of hope. Together, we seek spiritual growth. We strive for just and responsible action. We dedicate ourselves to leading lives of compassion and purpose. And now is the time in our service when we have our story for all ages. So I would invite anybody who wishes to come up, of any age, kids of course, but also kids at heart and anybody else. And we will read the story from the chancel steps here. So anyone wants to come up and join me? Don't all rush, it's okay. And our story today is Papa's Coming Home by Chasten Buttigieg, who, of course, in addition to being a very well-known and indeed award-winning author, is also the husband of Pete Buttigieg, the former Secretary of Transportation and presidential candidate. A story all about love and family. Okay, what? Okay. Today was the day that Rosie and Jojo had been waiting for all week. Their papa was finally coming home, and they were going to go to the airport to welcome him. Rosie was so excited she wore her sparkliest headband, and Jojo was so excited he wore his brightest light-up sneakers. "Let's make welcome home signs," Rosie said. She loved making signs and hanging them around the house. "Okay," Jojo said. How do you spell welcome?" Rosie wasn't sure either, but they did their best. 1 hour, 2 bottles of glue, and 3 tubs of glitter later, Jojo was sure they'd made the biggest, best sign to welcome Papa home. But Rosie wasn't so sure. "I think we might be missing something," she said. Josie thought carefully. "Papa loves the garden. We should bring him some of his very special flowers." So Rosie and Jojo went out to the yard and picked some of Papa's very special flowers. Rosie was sure that they were the biggest and best bouquet to welcome Papa home. But Rosie wasn't so sure. She said, "I still think we may be missing something." Rosie thought carefully. "Papa loves cake," she said. "We need a 7-layer chocolate cake with purple frosting." Oh, and yellow," Jojo added. "Purple and yellow it is," said Rosie. So Rosie and Jojo marched into the kitchen. Oh, but there was one problem. They weren't allowed to cook by themselves. "Daddy!" Jojo called. Daddy came running. "We need some help baking a 7-layer chocolate cake with purple and yellow frosting," Rosie told him. Daddy smiled. "Well then, that's very sweet. Papa will love that," he said. So Jojo and Rosie and Daddy baked a cake. As Rosie and Jojo put the final touches on the cake, Daddy looked at his watch. "Uh-oh, Papa's plane will be landing soon. We gotta go," he said. Rosie and Jojo gathered their signs and the flowers while Daddy carried the cake. "Papa's gonna love all of your treats," Daddy said. Daddy was absolutely certain that they had everything they needed to welcome Papa home. But Rosie and Jojo weren't so sure. "What about his slippers? His feet might be tired," Jojo said. "Good thinking, Jojo," Daddy said. "Let's get them." So Jojo grabbed Papa's slippers, and they dashed back outside. "But what about his robe?" Rosie asked. "And his favorite hat? We can't forget those." "We certainly can't," Daddy said. Rosie hurried towards the bathroom, and back downstairs they went. "Oh, we can't forget his books," Jojo said. "He loves books. We've got to bring those." "Oh, and let's bring his bicycle," said Rosie, zooming into the shed. Surely we have everything Papa will need now, Daddy said, looking around. Wait, Jojo said. We need to bring Butter. It's the dog Butter, you see, look. Big dog called Butter. I guess he's called Butter because he's kind of yellow, right? Yeah, I reckon that's why they call him Butter. We can't leave Butter all alone. Papa surely missed Butter, Rosie explained. Okay, Butter can come, but let's not be late, Daddy said, opening the car door. Now, Rosie and Jojo really were certain that they had everything they needed to welcome Papa home. But this time, Daddy wasn't so sure. You know what we don't have in the van yet, Daddy said. Jojo looked around. His newspaper? His favorite coffee cup? His model aeroplane? Rosie looked back at the house. His bike helmet, his shaving cream, his stinky cheese. Daddy shook his head. No, the two of you. And Daddy buckled them into their seats. And after a long trip that did involve eating at least some of the special cake, the family finally made it to the airport. Papa! Rosie and Jojo leapt into his arms the moment they saw him. We missed you. Welcome home. Papa was very grateful for everything the twins brought. I love how thoughtful you both are. But do you know what my favorite part of this welcome home is? He asked them. The cake? Asked Rosie. Your bicycle? Asked Jojo. What do you think his favorite part was?
His favorite part was? The butter.
Maybe Butter the dog. Yeah, maybe that was the favorite part. Let's see.
Definitely Ava's favorite part.
The cake is delicious, and I love my bicycle, Papa said. But the best part of coming home is the four of you. So it was Butter, as well as the kids and Daddy, right? So Rosie and Jojo hugged him again and again, and Daddy and Butter joined too. Because now they positively, absolutely knew for sure that they had everything they needed to welcome Papa home. But there was one last problem. Where was Papa going to sit? The end.
And can we say happy birthday to Ava, who will be 3 tomorrow?
Maybe we should sing. Should we sing happy birthday?
Absolutely.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ava. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all.
Well, good morning and happy Pride Month. Each Sunday, this congregation collects a weekly offering as part of its larger spiritual practice of generosity. Our monthly plate collection theme for June is youth service, and today's collection will benefit Out Metro West. For LGBTQ plus youth today, especially those who are non-binary or transgender, the message they too often hear in the news is one of exclusion, even erasure. They're told implicitly or explicitly they do not belong. That's why more and more young people are turning to Out Metro West's free programs to find affirming role models, safe spaces, and a community where they can truly be themselves. In Massachusetts, over half of queer teens report struggling with depression and anxiety. In response, Out Metro West now provides therapists at every meeting to ensure mental health support is easily available. Now, the youth love the snacks we collect, but we all know that sustaining a growing not-for-profit that serves hundreds of LGBTQ youth from kindergarten through age 29 takes more than just munchies. Your donation can be made either electronically or by the collection plate that will be passed. If you want to make an online payment, visit the online giving page on our website. Once there, please be sure to select plate collection from the drop-down menu. And if you write a check, please remember to put out Metro West on the memo line. Now today, as the collection plates are passed, you will find a little something in them for you. Please, whether you drop a donation into the plate or not, take a pride pin and wear it proudly throughout the month of June to show your support for LGBTQ individuals. Please give generously to this organization that began its life as a program of this church. In challenging times like these, your support is needed and appreciated more than ever. Thank you.
This morning, we open our circle of care and concern with these words from Reverend Krista Swenson. Echo of a voice. Blessed are you who awoke this morning at last to sunlight kissing earth on its way through a vast dark. Blessed are you whose hearts are brave enough to go on, brave enough for the proclaiming, the naming, the out loud loving. And blessed also are you whose hearts are spacious enough for all the love still unclaimed. Blessed are you whose hope is larger than your front porch, whose prayers are larger than your need. Blessed are you whose courage and tenacity swung the pendulum in the direction of freedom, freedom from closets and conformity. Blessed are you whom we name family, established by blood sometimes, but also by love, respect, courage, shared bread, and a common impatience for justice. The thread that knits us together, a community bound by a gracious tether. Oh, blessed be the tie. Blessed are you upon whom the universe does not squander moon and starlight. Blessed are you whose hands know how to reach in order to receive with grace and gratitude. Blessed are you, that is, who are learning the song of your life by singing it as you go. It is a holy song. Sing loud, sing proud, kindred. With these words now in our hearts and minds, let's take a moment and reflect in silence. And may it be so. Now I'd like to invite all who wish to come forward and light a candle of intention. And if you're comfortable, please tell us what person or place this intention is for, and we will carry them in our hearts. Those in our online pews, please type your joy or concern in the comment section, and we will also carry your intentions in our heart. So please come down the center aisle, light your candle, and then return by the side aisle. So let us begin.
For those who are seeking a path forward,
I light this candle in memory and honor of my sister, Jane, who recently passed away at the age of 88.
And this is for our sister Leslie.
This is for Bob.
For the high school students who are working to ensure excellence in final exams.
for our nephew, Chris, and his new wife, Jessica.
I lit this candle for Ava, who turns 3 tomorrow and is the greatest blessing and joy of our life.
I want to mention my dearest friend who died on May 20th. His name is Don Cassidy. His life was very, very well lived. He was a man of courage, caring, character, class. And he's one of the better men I ever met in my life. And today, this month, is the 5th anniversary of the passing of my wife, Susan Kosowski, also a wonderful, courage, classy woman who left too soon.
For my sister Leslie, who passed away last week.
I'm a rookie at this, all right. This is a candle of joy to welcome the Keith family back, Julia and her parents, Jean and Roger. Jean was here last night for her reunion to the Newton High School. I'm sworn not to tell you the year, but I'm a graduate there as well, and I wanted to welcome the Keith family. Thank you.
This is for my sister Birgit in Germany. My family of origin is all in Germany. And she's had one health challenge after another the last few years and just broke her leg. So I wish her well, and a joy that our youngest daughter, Elizabeth, on her own volunteered to help out and go be with my sister. So I'm very grateful.
And I would like to just light one virtual candle for my partner Helen's sister, Brenda, who has been diagnosed with breast cancer and underwent surgery on Friday. And further treatment to come.
We close this circle this morning by honoring all these intentions in this community. Along these, we know, are certain joys and sorrows that remain private. This hour, locked in our hearts, those too have a rightful and respected place here. So this morning, we honor all of these joys and sorrows with light. We light this candle for our families, for our beloveds, for our friends, and for all of our relations, for those still with us, and especially for our departed ancestors. And we also light this candle for all those who do not have a community in which to share their joys and concerns. May this candle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse. May its radiance pour out upon our hearts and spread light into the darkest corners of our world. Now please join in singing Comfort Me, number 1002, in the Teal hymnal, number 1002, and we will sing the first verse.
this morning is Fear and Love in a Red State by Reverend Manish Mishra Marzetti. And he starts with this quote from Amy Julia Becker. Love is stronger than fear, but only if we participate in love. Spring break. I'm with my family in Orlando, and my child needs to go to urgent care. As an Asian American in a gay marriage with adopted kids who are black, I had booked this Florida vacation in the good old days of our former president. Everything is different now. I arm my white cis male husband, Jeff, with our travel file, the folders with copies of our marriage certificate, the court orders declaring my husband and me the legal parents of our children, and more, and make an appointment for him at the closest urgent care. This is often our family's safety plan. The white guy in the family takes the lead. As Jeff and our child register at Advent Care, the receptionist inquires what Jeff's relationship to our child is. He explains. When meeting with the doctor, Jeff offers, with carefully chosen language, that his spouse has a bronchial infection, and now our kiddio does too. How long was your wife sick? What was she prescribed? Jeff takes a risk and responds, he had bronchitis. Only after receiving the needed prescriptions do we figure out that Advent Care is run by a denomination that is vociferously anti-gay. My heart sinks. I wonder if we got lucky. The same week, on our family's day at Epcot, I wear my Mickey Pride t-shirt, the only Disney shirt I own. Mickey, Minnie, and a colorful explosions of rainbows and hearts. Within half an hour of arriving, a 13-year-old boy goes out of his way to tell me how much he loves my shirt, beaming from ear to ear, knowingly, as his mom coaxes him back to his family. Another family spends half an hour getting to know our kids, gifting them trading cards and offering us more ear-to-ear grins of love and affirmation. Near the end of our Epcot day, a park employee comments that she likes my shirt. By now, I'm realizing I'm a walking billboard of gayness. And she asks how our day in the park has been going. I think about the fear I was feeling in contrast to this day. So much love and support from so many unexpected directions, and I am grateful. And he ends with this prayer. Even as fear abounds and reverberates, may I notice the life-saving, persistent presence of love. May I be that love for others.
Thank you, choir. I have to catch my breath after that. So that song the choir just sang has an absolutely beautiful background story. When George Matheson was 19 years old, with a history of failing eyesight, he went completely blind. His fiancée, whom he deeply loved, broke off their engagement. Many years later, his younger sister, who had become his primary caregiver, was moving out of their house to get married. In a state of deep, deep despair, all of the emotions about his broken engagement and the sense of deep loss with his sister leaving came bubbling out of him. He sat down and put pen to paper and wrote that hymn in what he recalls in about 5 minutes, in a daze, and not really feeling like he was the author or composer of his own words. Definitely divinely inspired. A love so strong, it grabs you, it surrounds you, and it will not let you go. In 2 days, on June 10th, Tom and I will celebrate 25 years together. Many of you have heard this story before, but we reconnected at Boston's Gay Pride block party in 2000. For the past 25 years, I have felt so lucky and so blessed to have Tom in my life. and to be able to love freely and openly. But I'm also old enough to remember that things were not always so open. I remember Stonewall, Anita Bryant, Pat Robertson, and Jerry Falwell, the rejection and isolation during the AIDS crisis, dark times that we made it through together.
And I'm also delighted to say that on this coming Saturday, June the 14th, my daughter India and her fiancé Fee are getting married. I know that some of you have met India and Fee when they visited here a couple of times before. And India and Fee are queer, and in particular, Fee is non-binary, and they are deeply in love. Theirs is definitely a love that will not let them go. So I couldn't be prouder of both of them. And, you know, obviously I adore my daughter, but Fee is also a wonderful person. And I'm really excited to have them as a child-in-law. It's going to be a wonderful relationship. And it's going to be a great wedding. I mean, boy, girl, child, it's going to be an amazingly queer and totally gender-fluid wedding. I cannot wait. And they too are fortunate that they live in a time where we do have marriage equality in this country. And as we say, that isn't always been the case, either here or elsewhere. I'd like to introduce you to my sister, Roz. Roz, very sadly, 15 years ago, died of breast cancer. She was only 43 at the time. And unfortunately, although they would very much have liked to have done so, she and her partner, Liz, were not able to get married before she died because there was no marriage equality in Ireland at that time. I'm delighted to say that in 2015 there was a referendum in Ireland and marriage equality was enacted. As an Irishman, I'm also proud to say that Ireland was the first and still is the only country so far to enact marriage equality by a popular vote. So I think it's a great thing. And also more recently, Ireland has moved on in other ways. For example, Leo Varadkar, who was the Taoiseach, or Prime Minister, was an openly gay man, and it was never an issue. People may not like his politics, but they couldn't care less about whether he was gay or not. So, Mark, congratulations obviously to you and Tom on your anniversary. So please tell us more about your marriage.
So Tom and I married in 2004 when same-sex marriage became legal in Massachusetts, and settled into our careers and raising our son, Mark. And certainly there were many twists and turns, there were ups and downs, and more than a few bumps in the road. Our adventure buying and running an inn and a restaurant and a bar in Vermont being one big one. Through all of it, most of my family and all of Tom's family loved and supported us. When our son Mark came out to us, it was the most natural thing in the world for all of us. We raised him to love himself, be kind and compassionate, and love with all of his heart. Barry?
Yes, and when India came out to my ex-wife and I, it was thankfully not an issue for us either. She was about 15 when she came out. Yeah, and it really wasn't a big deal. And I think part of that was the example that certainly I had from my parents, who were very accepting and welcoming of Roz. And so that made a big difference. And I think Roz was also very important to India. In fact, I know she was. India was 11 when her Aunt Roz died, but she's told me what a massive influence Roz had on her and continues to have on her. Because Roz was a role model. She was an example of a strong, proud, and independent queer woman. And it made it much easier, India says, for her to come out and to live her life because she had Roz as a model for her. But Mark, I don't know. Where are we? Where do we go from here?
Well, here we are, 2025, wondering which rights will be stripped away next. Who will next be disappeared? What other cruelty will be hammered on the LGBTQ plus people, especially trans folks, right now? One of the many things that I adore about being a Unitarian Universalist minister is that we embody that love that will not let us go. At the very core of our faith is the knowing that we are all worthy. We are all deserving of love. Love is the center of all we do. Taking care of each other, supporting each other, reaching out into the community with social justice action. At the core of all of it is love. One of the reasons I am so proud of our son is that he grew into a warm, loving, and compassionate young man. And I am absolutely convinced it's because he was raised a UU.
Yes, and I think India had a very similar experience. Things are much better now. Obviously, we still have a lot of problems, a lot of threats, particularly to trans and non-binary people. And I am, frankly, a little scared for Fee. I hope things will get better, but we do have real issues. Like your son Mark, India grew up as a UU at our home church, Mainline Unitarian Church in Devon, Pennsylvania. And I think it was essential for her that she was surrounded by people who loved her and accepted her for who she was, who she is, as she is, without question. Also, I think she really benefited from the OWL program at our church. I think that was a great way of introducing a positive attitude towards all forms of sexuality, including being queer. And she gave back. When she was still a teenager, she hosted a series of educational sessions for the older members of our church community on LGBTQ issues. And she also belonged to a local queer youth group, rather similar to Out Metro West. And I think that also made a massive difference in her life. But we do still face issues, not only with issues facing the threats to trans and non-binary people, but also issues like, although we now have marriage equality, we don't have parent equality. India and Fee plan to have kids, and obviously I'm very excited about the idea of becoming a grandfather. But there aren't the same legal presumptions or protections for queer parents as there are for straight and cis parents. Issues about having to adopt one's own child, and all these laws vary from state to state. So, for example, my daughter and her fiancé, soon to be her spouse, are putting money aside to pay for a lawyer because they know they will need one to straighten out all of the legal complexities that go with being a queer parent. So it's not all equal. But that said, Mark, I am so excited for my daughter's wedding. It's going to be an amazing weekend next weekend.
And you're much too young to be a grandfather, Terry.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
So as we sit here this morning, when it seems like the whole world is burning down around us, as we march and protest and make our voices heard, remember that you are loved. You are held by a love that will not abandon you, that will not let you go. And this month, as we march and dance and celebrate our LGBTQ plus community, let us all bask in the glory of our diversity, our ability to love out loud and proud whoever we are.
Yes, it all comes down to love and family and a supportive community. We will get through these times. together as a beloved community and with love. We are all children of God. We are all siblings, and we can do anything we want if we do so with love at the center.
So on this beautiful June morning, I wish all of you happy Pride, regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of where you fall. It's a day to celebrate. It's a month to celebrate our diversity. And as a Unitarian, to celebrate our love. Happy Pride, and may it be so. So now, if you'll please rise in body and or spirit for our closing hymn. You knew that we could not finish this church year without singing this at least one more time. This is like the third or fourth time we've sung this year. And as a reminder, folks, don't leave the sanctuary when we finish up here, okay? We're going to start the annual meeting as soon as we're done.
There's an insert in your service with the words and music.
Shall
So now that our celebration is concluding, I would invite Reed up to come extinguish our chalice of grace, as the hymn put it. And our closing words are spoken again in unison, and you'll find them printed in your order of service or appearing on the screen. Extinguishing this flame which has burned bright in our midst, we revere what has been kindled within each one of us, warmth in community, the light of truth, a perpetual spark of hope. Thank you, Reed.
Within each of our hearts there is a most glorious light. Go forth and let its spark help you understand what troubles both you and others. Go forth and let its light of reason be a guide in your decisions. Go forth and bring its ray of hope to those in need of help in body and spirit, that they may find healing. Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world. Go forth and spread the warm glow of love, pushing back the darkness of the world. Go forth and share your glorious light with the world. Our service has ended. Go in peace, singing your song. Sing loud, sing proud, kindred. Quick announcement. I don't know if you all saw Sheila run up and slide this under the pulpit. No King's March this Saturday, the 14th, in the Wellesley Town Hall Green from 11 to 12:30. UU Wellesley Hills is a supporter of this march, so bring your signs and meet at the Town Green at 11 o'clock on Saturday.